Welcome back to another episode of SHINANCE. Big money is moving in. They are acquiring, they're buying Bitcoin right now. And there's also government talks about having a US-backed stablecoin to help pay down our worldly, ugly debt that we got going on. There's a lot of important stuff, very important opportunities happening this week. So make sure you're paying attention to the whole video so that you don't miss anything. As always, I appreciate y'all for watching. Just make sure y'all subscribe, like, comment, let me know something. Let's check in. Let me know what you learned, what you want to learn, things I should go into more depth about. I'm here for it all. We got to learn. We got to make this money together. So I did want to talk about this BlackRock move, y'all. BlackRock. If y'all don't know who BlackRock is, do your research. They the biggest of the biggest. They the big dogs. They the biggest money. They got it all. And they just moved over 300 million Ethereum and exchanged it into Bitcoin. Now, I told y'all last week I was kind of guesstimating that you can get a better return over the next 6 months if you invest in BTC. Do your own research, but that's just how I feel versus a lot of stocks that are out there. Obviously, AI boom is a different thing. So, and they're saying maybe small caps is gonna hit the big boom button once the rate cuts come in. But who knows? Who knows? All I know is that this move right here, I'm loving it. And I did buy some BTC a week or two ago, and we up. But I wanted to give y'all some stats. Let's look at some historical data real quick, because I think this is important for all of us to know. But as always, do your own research. So historically, Bitcoin tends to hit the monthly low in the first 10 days of the month. We are already at, what's today, the 15th? Is it the 15th? It is the 15th. We're at the 15th. And the low from this month was on the 1st of September at 107. But this is just historical data. That's all I'm saying. Right now, we're trading at 115, 114. We had hit a high of 116 this morning at 6 in the morning. Because y'all know BTC, crypto, it doesn't sleep. It's trading 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So yeah, I'm very interested to see where this BTC swing goes. I think this is big that BlackRock is just they're just heavily dabbling in BTC, and it's just gonna only allow more hedge funds and more big banks with all this more money to keep pouring into Bitcoin. They're seeing it as a store of value now, as before it was non-comparable to gold. And now it's like, yeah, we got gold, but we also need to spread it out. And I think the guy from BlackRock said, 5% may be a little high to hold 5% of their money. Obviously they're talking about trillions, right? They're talking about trillions. So yes, trillions for them. 5% is a little risky. They're hanging in between the 3.5% to 5%. But if you're young, what's wrong with 5-10% in BTC? Do your own research though. I'm not telling you how to invest. I'm just telling you that's a number you may want to be looking at, and then you make the decision based off what your financial situation is. You feel me? So yeah, BTC is in. BTC is hot right now. I don't even want to predict, but I'm predicting it to go north. Kathy Woods had predicted $1 million a coin by 2030. And, we've seen slight movement from that, but we got a lot to go for us to get to even like $250,000 of a coin. That'd be like up 150,000 from here. So still watching Ethereum, but that may, I wanted to purchase Ethereum and I may not want to anymore because of why would BlackRock make such a move? Why would a big dog make such a move like that if BTC wasn't just so much more powerful? So I just want you to keep that in mind as we move along through this video. Let's talk about the important date for this week. September 17th at 2 p.m. our feds, our federal banks, the group that handles all this interest rates and money printing, they will be meeting, part of their quarterly meeting or whatever, and there's an expectation based off of stats and data that they're expected to cut the rates, bring the rates down. And many of you may be wondering, why does bringing the rates down equal the market going up? So let me break this down in a more simpler way. Let's say that you are borrowing $100 from me, right? And Sally's also borrowing $100 from me. Sally is borrowing $100 at 20% rate. You're borrowing at 3% rate, right? Both of y'all have $100. One person's borrowing at a higher interest rate and another person's borrowing at a lower interest rate, which is you, right? When Sally goes to pay me my money back every month, when that interest hits her account every month, she finna pay me $20 off that 100 versus you going to pay me $3 off that 100. So you have a $17 plus difference than Sally, and you can decide whether you want to invest, pay down debt, splurge. You just have more money to spend, more money to work with. So we're borrowing at a lesser rate, and these quarter rates, these 50% rate cuts, it's a huge deal because you're talking big money, right? Big money. These numbers are huge for big money, and when they start moving around, you give big money an extra 100 million to play with just because you cut some rates. So the markets are gonna get the moving, right? So that's kind of like the most simplified way. We just got used to living with the low interest rates, and now the rates have been going up over the last few years. So this will be the first cut in a little bit, and I think the market's gonna get excited. But just be careful because you just never know. I thought Friday was a buy day. There was a couple stocks. There was one specific stock we'll talk about that I bought into on Friday because I thought it was a buy day. And, we'll get into that. But let's talk some more stats. The market was last pricing in a 96% certainty that the central bank will cut rates by a quarter. So that's good to know because this is where you pay attention to the numbers, right? If they cut by more than a quarter, I think that's going to shock the market in a good way, good or bad way. If they don't cut any rates, that's going to lead the market to go down for sure. Just because there's so many people anticipating this extra money, I guess, that's expected to be coming. So these are the ways the market could swing. You just have to just be very vigilant, be paying attention. Whether you're here long-term, short-term, I don't know what you're here for. I know what I'm here for. I'm here for the long-term. So let's talk about a play that I got in last week based off the long-term. And I feel like we can kind of follow this play. I'm not going to go into every single detail about the Fed meeting. Y'all could do your own research. Like, we don't be here to break down every single detail unless multiple of y'all are requesting it in the comments, right? I'm gonna highlight things and then we're gonna push forward because there's just so much to cover within this financial market. But y'all can always reach out to me. We can always have side conversations. So last week, Friday was a down day because everybody's this anticipation of this rate cut is here, and I'm just trying to get ahead of it. Sometimes the market gives you the buy day, a few days before the actual date that anything's supposed to happen. Sometimes it happens the day of, sometimes it happens the day after. So I'm trying to learn to not be too emotional and just get in. If I know this is a good time to get in, I'm gonna just get in, whether it's a day before, a day of, the day after. I may get in a little bit before. That's kind of like my new strategy. If I'm going 100%, I'm gonna do like 25% the first day, maybe 50% the second day, 75% third day, and so on and so on. So I'm working on these strategies, and we're gonna be able to follow this one. Currently trading at 161. I'm down $1 or $2 on this one. I think I got in at like 163, 164, and I'm not mad about buying more. I think I just need to. This one made me a little nervous. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all, because when I got in, I didn't expect it to continue going down. I believe the first 52-week low was like 162. And then it created a new 52-week low of 159. One of the main reasons why I got into Lululemon is not because of their name. Obviously, they reported earnings recently, and the stock went down. It's been going down over the last whole year. A lot of people saying it's a falling knife, but here's why I don't think Lululemon is a falling knife. They had above 20% growth in international. I want to be exposed to that right now, especially right now with the tariffs and you just not really knowing what the prices for a lot of the stuff is going to be long term. I like Lululemon. They are being affected by tariffs and they do have some slow U.S. growth, but I think I know why the U.S. growth was slow. I went on to TikTok. You know, TikTok don't give you all the information. I guess there's a lot of drama, you know, behind the Lululemon employees abusing their employee discount. And of course, you're going to get some UF slow growth if the employees are abusing their discount. They may be reselling. Who knows? These clothes are expensive, right? I've done some work off camera in the Atlanta area for Lululemon. I think that they have some great people that work for their company that really care, like on the ground level that really care. I'm not talking about up at the corporate level. I'm not there yet, right? But at the ground level, there's people that really care for communities that are being built at, you know, the athletic communities. You know, I've gotten some product from them for, you know, the work I put in, and I love my Lululemon shoes, shorts, shirts. I get compliments all the time when I wear them. I just know this stuff is very expensive. So I think that and their financials really intrigued me. This ain't no slouch of a company, and I just don't think a falling knife would have 20% growth in international. So I want to be exposed to it, and I got in. I'm taking a chance on this one. We're gonna follow this one over the next handful of weeks. It could be a short-term play, it could be a long-term play. Really, I could play either way just because I got in at a very low level. You know, the game is to buy low, sell high. So I can sit on this one until I calculate when it's gonna reach new all-time highs. We're gonna be watching this one. I'm excited. This is I'm usually not into retail plays, but this is one that I'm kind of watching. Some other industries y'all should be watching. AI boom is here. AMD, Nvidia, Taiwan Semiconductor is another one I'm kind of watching right now. Technology, obviously. Fintech, I believe that fintech has some long-term growth. Robinhood. I want to talk about Robinhood next week. We're going to talk about Robinhood next week. I ain't even going to go to, but I'm looking at Robinhood. Obviously, many of you may know long-term, I'm in block XYZ stock. So, you know, we still active. Tesla going crazy over the last few weeks. I'm actually very disappointed. Even though I'm in Tesla, I'm disappointed because I wanted to get more and I never did. But that's part of the game, y'all. We look for pullbacks and we be very patient. That's very important. I need y'all to understand that. You need to be very patient. And then while you're patient, to help you be patient, do some research. Double cross-check everything you're reading, everything you're seeing, everything I'm telling you, anything anybody else is telling you. It don't matter how much money somebody had. Just be very careful, man. This is a world where people will manipulate you. They're going to tell you to buy the stock just because they bought it. I'm not telling you to buy the stock. I'm telling you that I bought the stock, and then now we can kind of review over time why I made such a great investment. You feel me? You feel me? As always, y'all, I ain't going to talk too much, but I appreciate y'all for watching. Make sure, because this helps the channel, please subscribe to the channel if you're watching, if you learned anything. Like, comment, let's talk, let's chat, let's connect, let's build this community, because there's just opportunities. There's no skin off my back if you go and invest in Lululemon as well too, and you hit. If we both hit, that's great. That's why I share this stuff with y'all. I want to share the stocks that I'm getting into. I don't want to hoard this information, because if I can make money, you can make money. But just know that if I lose money, you can lose money if you follow my trades, right? It's just like following, government officials. I'm not telling you to follow my trades. I'm just sharing this so that you can make your own calculated decisions and do your own research and hopefully make your own money and be confident in your knowledge. So you don't need me to make this money. You just need me to confirm that this money is on the way. You feel me? Right? Don't let that one go over y'all head. Appreciate y'all watching another week of SHINANCE. Let's continue to build. Let's continue to make this money. I'm excited, y'all. Until next week, hold it down, y'all.